Brock Lawley program.
The news behind the statist media lies.
And now your host, Brock Lawley.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Brock Lawley program. My name is Brock Lawley. I am your fearless host, and this is the segment we tackle the news headlines, sifting out the leftist media lies. From the alphabet soup spin machine to the Democratic Party talking heads to the statist talking heads, sorry for the redundancy, we deal with that, sift that all out right here at this segment, and offer you up the golden nuggets of truth. It is a service to humanity, at least that's this one man's opinion. Let's jump into the stories. 300, yes, I repeat, 300 Republicans signed a letter asking South Carolina to approve same-sex marriage. It is an epic testament of our time that has happened. Ladies and gentlemen, despite what your popular culture bombards you with, gay marriage is nothing but the redefinition of marriage. And it might appear to be, in this generation, a civil rights issue. It very well might have solidified in your mind as that. That does not make it so. It does not make it so. The foundation of our very existence, the foundation of our society, is predicated upon one man and one woman, not only for procreation, but for proper and well-rounded child rearing. That doesn't deprive anybody of rights. To call an apple an orange is to do nothing but live in a world of madness. And it is no coincidence that as you look through history, as the family unit destroys itself, as the structure for raising children and raising citizens, and all that entails, as that erodes, so do societies. That is simply the truth. That makes no one a bigot. That makes no one a homophobe. Most people who have the courage to say that are probably people that you might want to know, despite the lies and the slander and the complete and total reversal of truth that you are constantly bombarded with. It is a sad state of affairs that the Republican Party is a party of cowards and capitulators, but that is the truth, and it is the truth that I've been telling you for some time now. Time magazine has that list. Big names, by the way. Quite sad. New government consumer agency. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what you've been hankering for. I know what you get up every day and you say to yourself, what do I need? What is something that I desperately need? Well, it's a $215 million headquarters. An Obama creation, by the way, not that that's shocking you. The new government consumer agency. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got done watching a documentary on Netflix about the old Soviet Union. And every day I awaken in my country, which was once the land of the free, home of the brave, and I see it liken a statist regime that has sent chills down the backs of millions in the past. And we just continue to march towards that as we hand over more and more government power. Ladies and gentlemen, is that not a great use of our tax money? Our borrowed $19 trillion in debt coffers, completely pillaged. And you know what this country now has to suffer through? A government consumer agency. Again, I tell you, $215 million to build a statist headquarter. It's incredible. Breitbart.com blowing that one wide open. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you know? And I know this is going to shock deeply, but we have another Clinton scandal in our midst. Yes, and this one, for whatever reason, has the left antennas up. So you should be reading the stitches on the fastball with that one. But do you really want to go back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Clinton scandal years? Do you? That's the question. By the way, if you are a Democrat, there are dozens of Democrats that can offer exactly what Hillary Clinton can offer, which is talking points, race division, socialism. So do you really want to be encrusted in those scandals? Dress stains and pedophilia flights and, just doing whatever you want to do at any moment as if the law doesn't apply to you? I don't know. It's an interesting question, isn't it? Also interesting that the bulletproof Clinton's now seeing some shrapnel. There's some political commentary there, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we'll get into that in the weeks and months to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Strassel has a great piece. You know how I always like to turn your attention to him. Wall Street Journal with this one. Hillary and her emails, what exactly was she doing? Well, I'll tell you exactly what she was doing. She was covering something up. And if I had to bet all my poker chips, it'd be Benghazi related. and probably a whole nice long kite's tail of scandalous behavior surrounding that, possibly even stuff we haven't even seen or stuff that hasn't even come to light yet. You have to understand what leftist politics is to constantly be covering up the illegality and the shadiness that they embark on. That is leftist politics. It is concealing, it is distracting, it is throwing all kinds of weird gotcha style reality television red meat in front of the American people so that they don't realize the train wreck that is governing them. And let's address the sycophants in my audience here, where anytime they see a Democrat, it's just loyalty, 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 loyalty. Close ears, stick thumb in the mouth, acquire fetal position, do not hear. Well, how about we take a walk into memory lane here? In 2012, Hillary Clinton's State Department fired an ambassador for, wait for it, using private email addresses. Interesting, right? So when I say that the rules don't apply to Hillary Clinton and her Inc., I'm not just saying that because I'm a conservative. I'm saying it because it's actually a fact. It's actually true. Things that, I don't know, get other people fired just don't apply to the monarchy. Weekly Standard, by the way, has that piece. So states are scrambling in the wake of the same-sex marriage barrage on our nation and the social engineering warfare wielded against the average American. States are scrambling to pass religious protection rights. And here's why, ladies and gentlemen, because this has nothing to do with same-sex marriage. It has nothing to do with that. These are just solid political instruments used and designed to use as a means of bludgeoning political opponents over the head, as a means to depriving mainly Christians of their constitutional rights. That's what this is all about. It's all wedge issues. That's why they use the same formula. That's why they use the same language. That's what it's about. In fact, there's huge money now and websites, and you can track this and you can research this, where groups are just baiting churches, for example, walking into a church as a same-sex couple and looking for some grievance to then sue and then bring them to their knees in the legal system. That's what it's about. That is what it is about. I'm not saying that there aren't individual homosexuals that actually want to celebrate their matrimony and whatnot. I'm talking about the movement. I'm talking about the political movement where the money is, where the power is directed. That's what it's about. It's actually about depriving other Americans of their constitutional rights. That is what it is for. That is why there is money and attention and media momentum behind this stuff. So yes, states are scrambling to pass religious protection rights because they realize, look, we've seen bakeries go down, photographers go down, churches go down to nothing but entrapment. It's nothing like there's nothing complicated about it. It's just basic entrapment, and it's used to be a blunt instrument to bludgeon political opponents. That's what the same-sex issue has become. Shifting gears, the Malaysian flight, ladies and gentlemen, what happened? Well, I'll tell you, it's been one of the great mysteries of the century. I think if you're into that sort of Bermuda Triangle type stuff, and, you know, there's a new, I guess it'd be a theory, I mean, a crazy explanation, I don't know, but the pilot basically lost his mind. And to me, it makes about as much sense as the stuff we've heard thus far. It's all been conjecture and whatnot. But I will admit there's going to be a whole host of made-for-TV movies and mysteries in the dark corners of the unearthed closet or whatever series that we love to watch late at night with Cheetos and a bad beer at our side. You know, that's what this is going to become. Whether or not there was a second shooter on the grassy knoll and all this kind of stuff. But interesting stuff. The New York Times has a piece in that regard. And ladies and gentlemen, a piece of the Wall Street Journal. Will the Congress weigh in on the Iranian deal? Well, constitutionally they should, and they actually have a right to. And this is not a kingdom with a king, but it's pretty much up to the Democrats. And are they up to the challenge? Well, I would say not. We have so many cowards in Washington, D.C., which is the opposite of the system's intent. Our best and brightest and most courageous should be there, but sadly that's not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, shifting gear to a much lighthearted, I don't know about lighthearted. You know how this segment tends to go. Fish are dying in Nova Scotia, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, because of the severe cold. Can you believe this? Nova Scotian fish are dying because of the severe cold, and yet the left continues to lecture in tomfoolish fashion global warming threats. Yes. And somehow there's going to be a link in this convoluted mind of leftist dogma as well. So again, cbc.ca/news reporting fish dying because of the severe cold. And of course, the Northeast is suffering from this global warming / climate change / climate disasters / climate ever-moving goalposts / religious dogma of the left. Number of Palestinians, yes, Arab Palestinians working in Israel, ladies and gentlemen, has doubled. This is the J-Post reporting. It's jpost.com. Doubled. Interesting factoid, isn't it? As you continue to see the anti-Semitic news and the anti-Semitic newspapers and your anti-Semitic media tell you that Israel's the big problem. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no politicians as prosperous in the world as those living in Israel's territory. There are no Palestinians as free as those living in Israel and the surrounding Israel-controlled areas. That's just a fact. Not a convenient fact for the leftist meme, but a fact nonetheless. ABC Family has decided to double down and defend 13-year-olds kissing, 13-year-old boys kissing on an ABC quote-unquote family show. They claim, and this is their argument, it's done tastefully. It's done tastefully. That's how out to lunch and clueless ABC's executives are. There is no tastefully done 13-year-old boys kissing on an ABC family program. Why, you might say? Well, when parents, normal parents, not Upper East Side parents, but normal parents, the 300 million of us in the country, sit down to watch ABC quote-unquote family, we don't want to see young boys kissing. Not a real stretch, doesn't make us horrible people, just means we're still clued into reality. That's what it means. But they doubled down. Social engineers know no apology, and there is no saying you're sorry on the left, because the left just sits there and thinks the rest of us are so backward, bigoted, because we don't want to see children making out with each other on ABC Family. And lastly, who can't relate to this? A jet barely avoids disaster at LaGuardia. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've flown, you've tucked your head between your knees and prayed to God to get you out of the turbulence, haven't you? Well, apparently there was a real doozy at New York. You can read about that at NewYorkCBSLocal.com. And sadly, that is the news of your day. That is the news of the globe as it spins presently. CourageCulture.net for all the stories.
Courage Culture Commentary.
CourageCulture.net